Hey guys, I wanted to show you a few things. We're getting ready to do a build on a JK, a 2017 JK. Now this vehicle was brought to me just after it was purchased. It had been detailed at the dealership, of course. I did a couple things, looked at it. In retrospect, I thought I should have taken a video at the time to kind of show some of the things to look for, because this thing, like I said, had been to a dealership. It was cleaned and cleaned well, so you really don't know what the life of it was prior to purchasing it. Well, I got this thing up on the lift and started inspecting it, and it's still in great shape, but there was areas that were filled with dirt, and it revealed a lot of stuff that I should have taken the opportunity to point out. So what I wanted to do before we got to moving on this build, I wanted to show you some of the stuff. So if you're looking at purchasing a used Jeep, this thing has, I think, 73,000 miles on it. So I'm going to point out a couple things, but it may be something to consider if you're looking at a used Jeep. So again, this thing is a 2017. It has 73,000 miles on it. I'm going to flip this camera around and kind of get you a visual on some of the stuff underneath that I see. Okay, one of the things that stands out initially, there is leaking from the front and the rear of the oil pan. I mean, I can put my finger up here and you can see there's nothing major, but it is leaking enough that it does show and stand out. One of the things that really stood out to me, now as you make your way underneath here, you can see where it has had a lot of contact with the ground. Now, when they purchased it and brought it to me, this up here was completely filled with dirt. This worked kind of like a shovel. And you can see by the wear on here, as well as this, that this skid plate and all of this, and it was, you know, that's what that stuff is there for. So it was working, it was doing its job. But you could see that it certainly spent plenty of time out in the elements, which Jeeps are born and built to do. But had I not gotten under here and looked at it, we wouldn't have seen all this extra stuff immediately. So I flushed it out. I mean, there was probably a 5-gallon bucket worth of weeds, dirt, all the way up and down this. On a positive note, none of this is beat up. So it hasn't spent time out in the rocks. I mean, you can see actually right here, there's a little piece of wood still in there. So there's junk like that that's still floating around in here. But these are just kind of soft ground surface wear. So the control arms, nothing is bent, nothing is beat like it was banging off of rocks or anything. But you can absolutely see that this was off-road quite a bit in more like soft dirt type environments and elements. So these are the kind of things you just don't really know until you actually get underneath it. And when you're at a car dealership, you can't really roll around on the ground and see all of this stuff. So everything else looks really good. We're getting ready to throw a suspension kit on it and some wheels, tires, a few other little things, but I wanted to point that out. So if you're shopping for a Jeep and you're looking at used stuff, see if you can get it into a shop that has a lift, that they'd be willing to get it up in the air and you can look at it. You can see if these boots are torn, anything of that nature. That'll give you an idea of if this thing was driven to church by a little old lady only on Sundays, or if it was used like it was designed to. And then if you see things that are beat up, it may warrant further inspection to see if there's things that might be problematic. So I hope this helps. If you're looking at a Jeep that's got some miles on it and you're just unsure, take it to a shop, check it out.